so good to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm having a lovely morning after swimming at 6 in the morning, but other than that, it's going great. How are you?
I am good. It is so great. I love catching up. It's been a bit since I've gotten the chance to see you. I don't think I've seen you since the Paralympics. Hopefully, I'll see you in Victoria at trials coming up soon. I really wanted to talk to you about the big event you swam at this weekend. That was the Para Swimming World Series in Indianapolis. It is similar to what we'd compare kind of that Pro Swim Series on the Olympic discipline, where there's different stops all over the world. Tell me about your decision to attend the event and how the meet went.
My big decision that I had with my coach in regards to going there versus a meet in Canada would have been the fact that it is a para event, meaning I would race with my peers and who I would be racing against, usually only one time a year, to being able to race with them another time, which is really fun getting to see like all my friends from everywhere else. But that's majority of the reason why we choose to at least go to one World Series in a year. Um, but no, it was a lot of fun. I think I performed as well as I was going to perform, and I was really happy because it's kind of like a little checkpoint before going to trials. It was also the first time I swam 50 fly long course since Paris, which was really exciting. And I swam a time that I'm really happy with and that my coach is really happy with. And he's like, "This is good." I was like, "Yes, I agree."
I wanted to ask you about that level of experience because you were the youngest Canadian Paralympic female, I believe, swimmer ever when you're competing at 13 years old in Rio, and then now you've since been to two Paralympic Games. You came into this last one as the reigning champion in the 50 fly. You're the world record holder in the event. How has that experience really guided your confidence? You said like this, going into this, you should likely be the favorite, but how do you continue to push the barriers and get faster and to try to get like that new world record time every time you're racing?
It's what you mentioned. It's the fact that I don't view it as a world record anymore. I view it as a best time. So it's like I'm trying to beat myself in terms for the 50 fly at least. Like I just want to be better than the last time I swam it. I got close to beating it at trials last year where I matched my world record, which was insane. I'm like, I don't know how you match a time. I have shifted my mentality of like, I have other events that I can focus on as well. And because I'm focusing on those other events, it'll help that 50 fly be better and hopefully this summer maybe go best time, which would equal another world record, which would be hella cool to do in Singapore because Singapore is pretty cool, and I'm really excited to go there, pending I make the team. But I think it'll be very fun, and I think that's mostly how I view my swimming at this point is just being a better version of myself.
That's the best approach I can think of. So kudos to you and the maturity you've had since the beginning of your career to have that outlook. But you're right, you're setting your own standards. A world record really is just the best time, and you're pushing that pace. And I have been to Singapore once for swimming only, and it was stunning. So really looking forward to you hopefully getting the chance to go. We'll keep an eye out for that at trials coming up in just over a month, which is great. I'm looking forward to seeing you then and how you do. I wanted to quickly ask you about classification because these World Series events are a really big standard for classification. Can you tell me about the process of getting classified and for certain athletes, their need to continue getting classified?
My case for classification is it's not a simple process, but it's simpler than most because I only have the limb deficiency. Nothing about that is ever going to change. But the way classification works is you do a bench test where they, in my case, measure every single limb on my body, my height. It's a lot of measuring tapes, and I brought my x-rays in to be able to show them like my elbows don't function. They will not move. They do not bend. Because a lot of the times I would get points added for having elbows when elbows don't do anything for me. They just sit there and look pretty, and they don't move. But in the water, it would look like they would be bending, but they don't. So, and then after that, you do a water test where they like test like your floating skills, your sculling. Sculling is a fun one for me because I don't move. And then in the competition, they usually have one race that they watch to see how you race. So you're supposed to like actually try in the race. Once that's done, they'll either confirm the number that they had given you before the race, or they'll change it. Or worst case scenario, they look at you race. They're like, okay, we need to do another water test. We need to redo everything. Then they do everything again. And then they watch another race. And then they're like, oh, sorry, we can't actually give you a classification because we can't fairly give you a number. I am fortunate enough to not have to go through that because, again, this will never change. Classification can definitely be a very emotional process for a lot of people. And once you get your classification, it becomes a part of your identity. It can be really heartbreaking if you go up or down, because going up means, oh no, I'm now competing against people who are faster than me when I would be in a different classification. Or you go down, and that because whatever you have going on has gotten worse. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of emotions can go in classification. So it's a very lengthy process that I'm very happy I don't have to do anymore. And I really hope the classification rule book does not change until I am done swimming.
Yeah, well, I think it's such good context. So thank you for explaining that, because that's one thing I learned in the last few years about that process. I've obviously it sounds jarring and daunting and not fun. So I think it's important that people understand that context. So thank you for that. We're going to close with a fun segment called No Cap. And you are a Gen Z, which is great because I love when I have a Gen Z that knows exactly what no cap means. We're asking all our guests to be honest and give us their, I guess, as genuine as possible answer to one of my questions I'm going to pull out of the cap. And there were a few that I tossed in here this morning because I was like, I'm not going to possibly be able to get through what I want to with Dani. Okay. So this one I added this morning. I've been trying to find the results this weekend. And so I wanted your opinion. It's not always easy to access all the news about Paralympic swimming, the key stats, everything. So I wondered, can you tell me about the importance of coverage in your sport and what needs improvement?
I think what needs to happen is similar to, say, like on the Olympic side, when they're at the equivalent of a World Series for us, they are getting coverage in terms of Swimming Canada posting their results. We don't see that. We get one post maybe of them telling us that, oh, we're at this competition, and that's it. Again, it's come a long way in terms of like us getting more recognition. And I think, in my opinion, I've always said this, Paralympic sports in general / Paralympic swimming is a lot cooler because you're seeing so many different things from so many different people. It's not all copy paste. I don't like saying, I know you're an Olympic swimmer and everything, but Paralympic swimming, you see so many different things happening all at once for one single event. It's just super cool. And I feel like people need to see that more. And so my hope is that we just start getting the same coverage in terms of like on Instagram, or like maybe sending like a social media person with us, like occasionally. Like it's just like, it needs to become more of like an equal thing.
And I think that's such good reminders. And thank you for that, because I know it takes quite a lot of honesty that there has been strides taken, but there's also still a lot of work to be done. And I know both myself and, a lot of different people individually can hold ourselves accountable to making change in that space as well. And I'm honored for you to take the time to chat with me today. You're the best in your craft. You're a world record holder, one of the most accomplished Paralympic swimmers in the game. And I am so grateful for the chance to chat with you. And I cannot wait to see you rip up the pool in just over a month's time in Victoria. Danielle, it's been a pleasure. Oh no, we're friends now. Dani, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being on. This does end our episode today. Make sure you're subscribing and pressing all the buttons, make sure you put in questions for No Cap. We would love to hear from you of what you're interested in hearing from. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us.